Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and a game between not OGS, Liquid Hero versus Evil Genius's Puma here on Shakura's Plateau. I believe this was taken from the IPL, this is the IPL version of the map, so luckily I was able to get my hand on some of the replays here. Evil Genius's Puma, most noticeably, or recent tournament wins include the NASL Season 1 finals. I will have an announcement on the NASL Season 2 finals as well. It's not as exciting as you may think it is, but then again, if you are living close to the area, you may be interested in going out there. So we have Liquid Hero over here at the bottom right hand side of the map, spawning as the blue Protoss. Meanwhile, Puma spawning as the red Terran. So it is going to be Terran versus Protoss here, and let me go ahead and fix this hotkey. So Terran versus Protoss here on Shakura's Plateau. This will be close by air spawns and not full cross spawns, and I'm interested to see what the strategies will be. Puma looks like he will be opening up with the standard supply depot over here on the front door. Most likely will be adding a barracks in just a moment. Meanwhile, Hero quickly looking to set up a gateway and now start to do his scouting. And the key question will be whether or not we see any refineries and assimilators placed down. Now, I expect this game to be very macro-oriented. The natural expansion is very easy to defend against, or defend, as it is up on high ground. So there is a limited sight for any units trying to push their way up here. We're also going to see back over here another pylon hidden off to the side a little bit. We'll see what Hero tries to do. He may try to hide his tech, or perhaps just move his gateways around just a little bit more, make sure that it isn't revealed by any scanner sweeps, but also revealing a little bit more in the fog of war, making sure that drops or anything of that nature are revealed. He wants to have a good control on that, as Puma most likely will be getting his orbital command. There it is. And now we are going into refinery and assimilators. So refineries and assimilators for both sides, as we are now getting that cybernetics core over here. Rather strange that he's building his core off over here, but now going into a second gas as well very early on. So a second assimilator already being placed down, which normally means that this is going to be very, very high tech play and nearly not as much of an expansion. The only way that we could perhaps still see an expansion is if it's a 3-gate expand with a lot of sentries. Probe will get taken down. Oh, excuse me, have to sneeze, and then, yeah, had to sneeze for just a moment. There you go. A building was canceled, so it looked like a factory was built. And taking a look back over here, yes, a factory was started and then canceled, and now we may be going for a command center instead. So a very interesting play, a little bit of a head fake there. And now going into a reactor. So this is going to be a lot of Marines to try and defend. We can see that there's currently no gas being harvested whatsoever, sitting on 61 gas, and with a lot of Marines, he's going to have to try to defend against a large number of any harassment which may come in. Hero is currently chrono boosting out the cybernetics core. He does have one gateway. I believe a sentry will be added in next, or no, it is instead going to be a Stargate. So Stargate going to be added, and that may be very difficult for Puma to fight against unless he does get stim on those Marines. The Void Ray does have superior range, and if those Marines are not able to get underneath that Void Ray to shoot it down, the Void Ray can cause a lot of harassment and cause a lot of micro on part from Puma in order to be able to fight back against that Void Ray pressure, or perhaps we could even see Phoenixes. Back over here, you can see the Marines are now going to go ahead and jump inside that bunker. The Stalker going to see what's going on over here, fighting against a bunker on the high ground. The Stalker knows better than to try to push any pressure there. But with the Void Ray can attack this supply depot. Stalkers can also attack this supply depot as well. And that is going to be a bit of an issue, but no, we are going into Phoenixes instead, as the SCV is going to spot this Stargate. So very, very nice. Puma knows that there is going to be some airplay, and we'll see how this is all going to respawn. Orbital command and now being added as well. We can see that there is going to be a salvage on the bunker, as an SCV now makes its way down. There is a Stalker down over here as well, and now the Hero being very, very smart to just pull back there. More Marines need to be added. We are going to be getting stim, most likely Marines able to push back there, and now getting the concussive shells first as the Marines now make their way in. Was that command center, orbital command? The orbital command, yes, is finally spotted. as the orbital command now will land off here. We are going to be getting a bunker onto the low ground. A second Phoenix going to join in on this fight. Graviton Beam, the Mule will get taken down. Marines trying to get some damage onto the Phoenix, only getting 12 real points of damage as we are now going into a factory. So it's going to be mass bio play. So, yeah, mass bio play. There you go. There was a quick pause in the game, but because this is a replay, we don't have to deal with it. Nexus now coming in from Hero, as Hero realizes that he cannot fall behind in the economic game. A lot of sentries and stalkers, the Phoenixes just are trying to put as much pressure as possible, going after some SCVs as they are building, and there you go, once again being shooed away once more, and now another Mule may get picked up, and yes, it is going to get picked up, but some damage actually dealt to a Phoenix there, as the Phoenix once again tries to back off. Marines are in position. Where are those Phoenixes going to go? It looks like the shields are going to naturally recharge once more, as those Phoenixes just have so much room to maneuver across this map. Now going to simply fly away and push back in once again. No, unable to really do anything. Perhaps Graviton Beam unable to do so there, and really not going to be able to do much harassment at all. You can see how slow those Marines are compared to those Phoenixes around a burst, and now coming in, and now you can see that the Mules are now trying to push back in, and the Marines continuing to deal more damage as the SCVs could have tried to repair the Mule. I have seen that happen in the past where SCVs repair the Mule, causing the Phoenixes to stick around just a little bit too long, and then the Phoenixes get destroyed. We can now see that Stim is about halfway researched, or will be halfway researched in just a moment. The Phoenix is still looking around, trying to see what damage it can do. Going to be able to get off a very easy SCV there as the Phoenix is finally backing off. Harvester count 37 to 36. There are Mules in play, so that is definitely benefiting Puma. But Puma then again, he has been losing a lot of Mules to those Phoenixes, so the Phoenixes denying the extra minerals that would normally be harvested, and that is going to start to put a dent into the Marine count of Puma. 3 Phoenixes now just sitting outside the front door. You can see sentries, a lot of energy across them. Zealots and Stalkers, as well as the units once again push in. 1 Phoenix does get shot down there as a factory is now in the air. The Phoenix is going to be able to just absorb a little, or sorry, the factory going to absorb a little bit of damage, as there are still no Mules no missile turrets whatsoever, and this is rather strange. Missile turrets with a range of 7, very effective at preventing any Phoenix harassment. 1 Mule in each location, also very effective at detecting any observers and Dark Templars if they do try to come by, as the armies on both sides just slowly being macroed up. Now, the harassment of Hero, as effective as it, or as much annoying as it is, hasn't really shut down Puma's game yet. So that may be a bit of an issue, as Puma is now sitting on 46 compared to 49. Phoenix is going to once again try to come back in. It looks like the Marines will be able to shoot it back, as we are now going into combat shield and level 1 infantry weapon upgrades. Marauders and Marines pushing out across the center and unable to catch up to those Phoenixes there, and now I'm backing off. So a nice split Stim there, making sure that there is nothing happening, nothing going on. A Marine still sitting at this 1 Xel'Naga tower, as any aggression into the main base will be very difficult to stop, especially with 15 Zealots. The Zealots do not have charge, though, so this is going to be perhaps a little bit of a bait, as we now see no more Phoenixes, just 5 Phoenixes in the air, looking to control the skies and perhaps try to prevent any drop play. Now, Puma has not been able to really do any harassment. Banshees are out of the option. Hellions are out of the option, or are not an option, as well as those Phoenixes can Graviton Beam those Hellions and deal a lot of damage. Phoenix is still flying around, looking to put a bit more pressure once again. We'll see what's going to happen here as the Marauders and the Marines are moving back. This army will be spotted as it comes in. Puma does have 1 Marine here. That Marine going to quickly get Graviton Beam. Zealots are now making their way over, salvaging the bunker. I'm not quite sure about this decision by Puma, especially as there is an aggressive force now coming in. Marines now pushing in a large number of Phoenixes, just able to push into the main base here and take down a couple of Marines, and this is more of an harassment and annoyance. A missile turret now finally completed, but it may be too little too late as the Graviton beams, and now all those Marines are getting destroyed, and now the Phoenix is just able to sit back over here. A missile turret is close by and able to put a little bit of pressure, as now Puma has, I believe, lost a little bit more in total resources. Harvester count, another Marine getting caught in transit as more and more Marines just getting shot down still. Those Phoenixes huddling very, very closely together. You can see that there is a command center here. The probe does not spot it as the Phoenixes are just hanging around inside the space. The medevacs trying to run away. It looks like they will be able to run away and try to stick next to that missile turret. One Phoenix does get destroyed, but that is it, as there is now an aggression and army is starting to finally move out. Nexus coming in, Archons being merged, Zealots, Sentries, and not very many Stalkers. One Stalker only. So with only one Stalker, I'm curious as to whether or not these Marauders are going to really be able to deal that much damage at all. Ghosts are leading the way. There are a lot of Zealots and Sentries back over here. The Phoenixes could try to get a Graviton Beam. Only 3 Ghosts in this group. There needs to definitely be a lot more Ghosts in order to fight off this many units here, especially with the radius having been removed. And the Phoenixes may get off an easy shot. Perhaps shut down and destroy. There's an EMP shockwave, but very, very difficult to try to hit the air as those units are now once again going to engage. There's the EMPs, Sentries, EMP shockwaves hitting once again. There's the force fields. The Marauders are stuck on the wrong side, but some damage was dealt as well, as Puma now with a slight food advantage, and I speak too soon, as both sides now warping in and retraining up more units. A pylon is up on that high ground. There is a planetary fortress. That planetary fortress about to be completed. No units will be able to warp in at all onto that low ground there. As you can now see, the Phoenix is looking to put in a bit more pressure, just doing a little bit of pop shots at that factory. The factory flying away ever so slowly, going to finally land. It doesn't look like it will become on fire. No, it is not on fire, down to 530 hit points. An SCV does not want to make its way over, as the medevacs may take a lot of damage. Another medevac, oh, not destroyed there, as the Phoenixes are backing off. There is a Zealot now trying to do it a bit of a charge here. Archons and Zealots, SCVs desperately need a repair. SCVs are coming over to repair. There's the force fields preventing the repair, and this one planetary fortress will get taken down. Zealots and Marauders and Marines on the high ground doing a little bit of damage, and now in come the units on the far side as well. Hero in a bit of trouble. More force fields need to come in. Those units need a way in order to get a retreat. This is going to be very bad, but the force field on the ramp here could split up that army once more. Zealots trying to back off that medevac. Is it going to be able to drop any units? Yes, Marines are being dropped, and now in comes another engagement. Here you go. There's the force fields. Zealots are now unable to get within melee range. There are Archons in this group, as the Marines are going to be able to stim and chase after this unit. Hero is in trouble. There's another round of force fields, and I think that's going to be it for this attacking force. And Hero losing a lot of units back at home, but he does have the economic advantage with this base still up and running. 58 compared to 51. Puma with the same size army right now, a little bit of a weaker economy. That is not good for him, especially as Hero does have charge on those Zealots. No blue flame Hellions to really deal that massive splash damage at all. The Marauders are going to try to engage, trying to use that stim, and then are we going to get some EMP shockwaves? No EMP shockwaves. Graviton Beam on the Ghost, beautifully microed, as the Ghosts are going to get shot out of the air. And now in comes some Psystorm as well, dealing a lot of damage to some of those Zealots. A lot of Marauders and Marines. It looks like, what is this engagement going to look like? Not quite sure, as the Marauders and Marines coming back in. Marines are now getting Graviton Beam. Are there enough to fight back? Yes, it looks like there are. Medevacs have been destroyed, and Hero now down to 90 food. His army is slightly smaller, about half the size, but another round of warp-in could be coming in. Yes, there you go. 9 Archons. And now, 4 Archons, High Templars as well. Those Archons very beefy, as the Marauders and the Marines are pushing in over here. Is it going to be enough? That is the key question. There are 3 Ghosts, and now the probes are going to get destroyed. Medevacs bringing in the rear. We need to get some EMP shockwaves off. There is an EMP shockwave, beautifully hit. And now all of those Zealots are getting sniped as well. More Archons coming in. Those Archons are going to be able to deal a lot of damage, but the Archons were a little bit separated. And now the Medevacs are trying to do a retreat, and it looks like they will be able to escape there, as those Archons do move fairly quickly, chasing after those Medevacs. The Nexus, importantly, was not destroyed, but a lot of workers were taken down, 42 compared to 51. Both players running off of essentially 3 base or 2 bases now, as their main bases have been mined out. Level 3 weapons upgrade now being started for those Archons. Zealots are going to be able to cut through those Marauders and Marines very easily, as there's only 1 armor on them, but we are going into 3-1 upgrades for the Marines and Marauders and Ghosts. Planetary Fortress will be completed, and with no sentries, as sentries are very, very gas heavy, and I do not believe force fields will prevent the Planetary Fortress from getting taken down, as the SCVs will be able to get in some massive repairing. Marauders should not really be trained at this point. Not that many Stalkers, but the Marauders are effective at least trying to kite and slow down these units. There are a couple Archons in this group as well. Oh, sorry, High Templars in this group as well for that all-important Psystorm. And no real change into Colossi, even with level 3 weapons upgrade. Level 2 armor now being added as well. Both sides taking a little bit of reprieve in the action to try and figure out what they're going to do, and it looks like Puma is going to be executing a drop. A drop now over here on this far side. This Nexus may get cancelled, and it is going to perhaps cause a little bit of a reset on Hero. Level 3 weapons upgrade about to be completed. I believe it has been chrono boosted out the majority of the time. Where is those weapons upgrade? There it is, now getting completed there, and now those Archons, I believe dealing 47 damage per attack, able to one-shot a Marine after it gets stimmed. Marauders and Marines now quickly dropping in on this side. Hero most likely will just be canceling that Nexus. Just wait for the cancellation. There it is. 300 resources have been returned as the medevac now is retreating once more. You can see that the sentries, zealots, and archons are making their way back over here. Another Nexus will be added. The High Templar does have a lot of energy, so it could get a feedback, remove all of the energy on the medevac, and then perhaps try to Psystorm as well. It has enough energy to do both, as we are now going into Stalkers finally. Ship and vehicle weapons upgrade now being added, perhaps trying to expect Colossi, wants to make sure that his bio army is not destroyed in an instant, especially with level 3 weapons upgrade. And there are going to be some High Templars off over here. We may have a drop, and if the timing on this attack is perfect, Puma could attack at the front and at the back at the same time. There's the scanner sweep. It looks like we are going to have an engagement. No, does not want to engage just quite yet. There are some, zealots now warping in over here, and they're going to be in the wrong spot at just the wrong time, losing all of that warp gate cooldown as the Marauders and the Marines are putting in pressure. Probes have been destroyed. Perhaps going to take down the pylon. The pylon looks like it will get taken down as the Zealots finish that off over here. An engagement. Ooh, there's some Psystorm. A nice snipe being used as the Zealots are being forced to pull back once again. The medevac down to only, 2 Marines and a Marauder in that group, but some damage was dealt. Observers trying to be trained, but that is not going to... it's going to be locked for some time as that pylon is stuck. And now Marauders and Marines are engaging. Are we going to perhaps get some snipe? Yes, snipe coming in. And the Archons being forced to pull back, and these Ghosts are such an offensive unit, able to EMP Shockwave and also get in snipes onto those High Templars. 2 snipes each. Marauder now pushing its way in, going to get surrounded very easily, and now in comes the EMP. There's one EMP, another EMP maybe coming in. Zealots and now probes. There's another snipe, beautifully done as the Archons, Psystorm feedback war, EMP Shockwave. Those Ghosts are dealing 26 damage per attack, and now just catching many of those Stalkers out of position. A lot of Zealots down over here as the Ghosts are now trying to push their way up onto the high ground. And now the massive Marauder Marine Army. Psystorm now raining in. Puma's in trouble. And but in comes the EMP Shockwaves. The medevacs are trying to heal back up. Who is going to come out ahead? Puma does have a couple more Marauders and the Marines. Zealots are reinforcing, and this is going to be a huge exchange here as the Zealots are now bringing up the rear. They need to engage. The Zealots do have armor upgrades. Vikings now coming in to join in on this ground battle, and now the Vikings with added DPS should help and now finish off this Nexus. An additional 3-4 food as Zealots are now bringing in the back once again. We may get a Psystorm. There is the Psystorm there. Another Psystorm could be coming in. There's another Psystorm, EMP Shockwave, and a snipe to finish it off. Archons trying to be merged in the backfield. It looks like they will be able to come in, get in some damage as well, but only a range of 4, and there's the GG by Hero. So Puma winning game 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1 in this series. Stay tuned for game 2.